Hiya, it's Wednesday again, as if it's Wednesday already, and it's time for another Ask AJ, or as it is today, Ask Sam and Laura. This is Laura.
Hi.
And if you don't know who Laura is, she's related to somebody nearly as important as me in this agency. Who are you related to, Laura?
I am related to Phil.
And you are his much younger sister, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely.
She's his big sister. She tries to keep him in line, but like the rest of us, she's tried and failed, as you can see. So Phil's out on 3 valuations today because the market has gone a little bit crazy. It was crazy at the beginning of the year with way too many buyers for sellers, and now, which I predicted by the way in my crystal ball, the sellers are now rushing to the market to capitalise on this great market. So if you're thinking of selling, do it now, because over the next few months things could really tilt the other way, where we've got many more sellers than buyers. So which would you rather sell in, a buyer's market or a seller's market? Exactly. Speaking of selling, Laura is really interested and keen on getting trained in home styling. And as you probably know, we have 5 stylists in the office actually, or 5 people who can style, I should put it that way, which is Edward and Hannah. They're our key AshdownJones people, but also Julie, who works in Retreats and Hideaways, which is our holiday let agency, and of course we have to style for those photographs as well. And then of course we have Tess, who's from Retreats and Hideaways, and then Maria in AshdownJones. So 5 of them, but we always need more stylists, and Laura's really, really keen to learn. What do you like about home styling?
I like the idea of going in and just creating the right space and making sure that the furniture's in the right place, because we were saying before, weren't we, that sometimes the furniture's like crowded around the TV and it's probably be nicer in front of the fire, wouldn't it? Or
I went to see somebody a few months ago, and I did say this to her because I'm a bit blunt. It felt like an old people's home. She must have had about 27 chairs in one room, and it did feel like it was either going to be like an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting, which it could have been, or it felt like an old people's home. There's just way too many seats. In fact, I even told her to count the number of chairs she had in the house, and then count the number of friends and see if it matched. She did have way too much seats, but people do tend to, obviously if you've lived there for a long time, you tend to crowd around where you would normally,
which probably is a TV, isn't it?
It probably is a TV. And actually if you've got a very big living room, and then you've got like a 3-piece suite, you're going to put it around the TV. But that's not necessarily best for photography and viewings, is it?
No, well no. No, because you want to be able to see the space really, don't you, what you have.
And also, if the TV is in the centre of focus, when you walk in the room, you're going to look at the centre of focus being the TV instead of the windows and the fireplace and the features. Yeah, exactly. So what we're going to teach you today is what we're going to be teaching Laura, although I'm sure, as you can see, very beautiful lady here. She is, and she has a very beautiful house. So I know that she knows a lot of this stuff innately. But if you are coming to home styling as an idea for the first time, it might feel a bit of a foreign concept. And some agents call it home staging. We don't really like the term home staging, because what we're doing is we're just styling your house, we're just tweaking it for sale. We're not staging the whole thing. Sometimes it's hard work, and we have to move quite a lot of things. That's definitely when somebody's lived there for a long time, or when somebody has children and we need to help them. If you were selling your house now, the first thing you do,
I would go, get rid of the toys, put them away.
Get the kids to school. Out the way.
Yeah.
Because not everybody has kids as looking, do they?
No, well that's it. And I suppose if the rooms are set up as your children's rooms, like you say, not everyone has children, so you'd like to see what else you could use that room for, maybe, wouldn't you? Study
or just an adult guest room.
Yeah, guest room, yeah.
We do go to quite a few houses where they've got children, where they've got the children's names on the doors, and that's something I suggest that they take off, because it feels like when you're a viewer, you're going into, somebody else's room. There's even a name on the door. Or we've been to teenagers' room, keep out on pain of death, which isn't great when you're viewing a house. So yeah, just to try and reduce that barrier a little bit. It's sometimes just a mental barrier, and if they're undecided by the time we get to the kids' rooms, you don't want them to kind of go, it's too kid-fied for me, I can't imagine myself being there. So we're going to give you 4 key principles today to help you style your home, and it might just be that you want to style it anyway, you just want to just try a few new things, or it might be if you're actually selling, this is for photography and viewings. So number 1 is to create light and space. What kind of thing can that be? Think of how you create light and space.
Moving the furniture.
Moving furniture.
Way, if it's crowded around the TV, maybe spread it out a bit more, or focus on another feature like the fireplace.
But rugs as well. Sometimes rugs can make rooms look a little bit small, can't they?
Yeah.
Particularly if it's a very light carpet and a very dark rug, it kind of, your eye is drawn to just the space that the rug takes in the rest of the room. So we quite often take rugs up for that reason, especially if there's a big contrast between the two, and especially in hallways, which tend to be narrow anyway. And then kitchen surfaces.
Yeah, so you could have fresh, like in this brochure actually. You could have, let's show.
Yeah, might need to show it a bit closer.
Can
you see how we've styled that? So I'm sure that island did not look like that when we went round to this beautiful house, which is Stonecroft Barn, which actually Phil fell in love with that house.
Yeah, it's lovely.
I'm sure that they had lots of things on that island. I mean, think back to my home when my kids were growing up. There was unpaid bills there. There was kids' lunch boxes there. There was crumbs always. The crumbs never left. There was items there that people just dropped and didn't then go back and move. And so what would happen was it get more and more cluttered, and that makes the kitchen look cluttered. So something we actually do in the photo shoot is A, we'll take everything off to put things back purposefully, which we'll come on to, and B, we move things like kettles, toasters and microwaves that take up a lot of surface that once removed, you can just see the kitchen surface itself. So that's a little tip for you. So that's light and space. Furniture, we've already mentioned the living room. Sometimes I notice in a bedroom, the bed seems to be in the wrong place. Maybe it's just historical and they just like the bed being in the middle of the room, or they've got the bed, the double bed in the master bedroom against one wall, which people don't really like. People like to see a bed, bedside tables,
lamps.
Bedside lamps, yeah. In fact, let's see if we can find a picture of one here and you can see what I mean straight away. Matching bedside lamps, there you go. So if that was against a wall, it just wouldn't make the master bedroom feel anything like as nice as that. So we're looking for a kind of hotel feel, aren't we?
Yeah.
So furniture placement is really important, and we'll notice as well if there's furniture placements in the wrong place. In fact, I went to see a beautiful house last week with Phil, lovely, lovely lady selling it with 2 little children, and she had 5 outside doors. Who needs 5 outside doors? She had 5. 3 of them were blocked by furniture. So these were, there's a couple of like glass doors out of conservatories or out of the back of the house, and they shouldn't have furniture in front of them because people want to go to the door and open it and have a look. And if you're blocking the way, you're saying don't go through that way. Even internal doors sometimes are blocked up by furniture.
And it tastes really light as well if the door's glass. Or
that's true. It does. Yeah. So that's furniture, and then let's go to adding warmth and colour. What kind of things can add warmth and colour?
So could you light candles?
Yes, there are some candles lit in here actually, I noticed. So we would never have candles up that aren't lit, and also fireplaces as well. Yeah, fireplaces need fires in them, and when I look at other agents' photographs and they don't like the fire, I think what a shame, because your eyes have been drawn to this beautiful warm part of the room. Let's see if I can show you an example.
Yeah, I think it really makes it, doesn't it?
All sorts of nice fires in there.
There you go.
Yeah, lovely. So if I just turn that around, hold it up for you, there you go. So you can see, if you imagine that fire isn't lit, we can put a false fire in, but actually we prefer to put a real fire in if we possibly can do. That looks false to me. Because I think that, because it's the same, but I think that any kind of warmth in that fire is going to really make it stand out. But yeah, candles is another really good one to have. Lamps. When we've got lamps either side of the bed, quite often we'll turn the overhead lamp off or light off, especially if it's down spotlights, because they don't look great. Yeah, they're a bit too bright, a bit bluey as well. Yeah. Whereas bedside lamps with tungsten bulbs, look nice and warm and welcoming.
Yeah, more cosy, isn't it?
It is.
Feel, I think.
Yeah, and it's more elegant, isn't it? Having like a nice parallel kind of symmetrical lighting. And then the last one is to add lifestyle, and we noticed some touches that the stylists have put in. You noticed a few, didn't you?
Yes.
So we do things like, we create little vignettes, little kind of stories around the house, if we possibly can do. So it might be a story of a chair by a window with a cup of tea and a book and maybe a pair of glasses next to it. That's a story. Or we've got on here, what's that story going on?
Well, we've got some fresh pastry. pastries, some fresh orange on there.
Yeah, so
Candles lit.
we think this is probably breakfast, a little bit of a
yeah.
breakfast story. We also take sometimes like a Victoria sponge cake or a nice fruit cake or scones and add some little strawberries to it and put it on a cake stand. That can look really nice as well. So what we're doing is we're adding lifestyle. We talked about the terraces, didn't we, and outside. What could you put outside? Because we've got a lovely
hot tub, so if you
hot tub, yeah.
the lights in the hot tub on, so it lights it all up.
And you suggested robes, didn't you, as well?
Sorry, yeah.
Robes
Yeah,
and
robes,
slippers and everything.
nice,
Like a little
yeah.
spa.
Yeah, did you say you went to a house where there was children that they had little robe and
Little
slippers?
tiny
That's
little
cute.
robes. They were little tiny slippers. They look so cute. Anything like that is really good because that was for their grandchildren. And a bottle of wine or even a gin and tonic.
Two glasses out.
Two glasses.
So you can,
yeah.
onto the table.
So when somebody's looking through the brochure and thinking about whether they should go and view, what do you think they feel as they're looking through the photographs when there's lifestyle in those photographs?
Well, I think you want to be able to see yourself living there, and it's nice to imagine. If you see the lifestyle, see how it's set up. And me personally, I think, oh yeah, I can just imagine myself sat there in the morning with my orange juice, looking out of looking at the nice view, or in the hot tub.
Actually feels like you could be there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
In fact, what we're doing really is we're taking a leaf out of hotel books because they sell a lifestyle. There's no point in them just showing a big empty bed. You know, they have quite often a dinner tray, or not dinner tray, a breakfast tray on the bed.
Yeah, I'll set it up.
That makes you think, oh, I can have breakfast in bed. I haven't done that for years. Or it might show you, I don't know, a spa treatment or something. So it's helping you imagining what it's going to feel like to stay there. And that's what we want to do. We don't want people just to flick through the brochure and go yay or nay to a viewing. We want people to really get bought into the idea of the house via the brochure, so that when they go to the house, they've got all those really warm feelings of hope that house is going to be their dream home. And then when they come away again, and they've maybe, sometimes they come up and view like 12 houses in a weekend, don't they? From Oxford or London or wherever. They're going to go back and they're going to have some brochures with them to peruse after all their lovely viewings. And we hope that, we know that our brochures are going to look so much more beautiful than all of the homes they've been to see, that it helps to re-cement their love affair with that house. So they're much more likely to put an offer in. When they do put an offer in, it's much more likely to stick because they've got a beautiful brochure next to them that's reminding them every day why they chose that house. And we often get the seller wanting to have extra copies of the brochure so they can keep them as keepsakes, and interesting enough, the buyer to share them with families and friends because they think, they're such a beautiful thing to have and a memento of their journey towards buying a house. So that's why we do all this. We do it primarily for photography and viewings. That's what styling is about, to make sure that your home is enhanced and that people can fall in love with it rather than make a logical decision, which we don't want any buyer to make. It's not logical necessarily to buy a £4 million home on the lake, and it's not logical to buy a falling down little cottage with roses around the door. But if we make people fall in love with it, then it becomes part of their dream and part of their future. And so that's our job as estate agents. And a very nice job it is too, isn't it?
It is.
You love it, don't you?
Absolutely.
Are you looking forward to getting styling then?
Yes, I am. That'll be good.
Fingers on it.
Yes.
And we have lots of styling accessories as well, if she's going to love to explore. Every now and again Tess says to me, we need some more money for styling accessories. So we throw a few more pounds at her and she goes and buys some more. So we've got lots of beautiful styling accessories, from bedding to plants to towels to champagne to everything that you need. Cake stands, exactly. Candles, everything that we need really, and lots of light bulbs.
Yes. Make it warm.
Make it warm. If you have any questions at all about whether your home is ready for photography and for viewings, or whether you'd like to have a confidential chat about your home, if you are on the market and it's not selling, even in this bonkers market, you might be asking yourself why, and are my photographs good enough? Is the styling of the house good enough? Or if you are currently through a project, or you're coming to the end of a project and you don't know whether you should carry on, or you should, finish that kitchen, or whatever it is that you're thinking that you might need to do to the house to sell it, then now is the best time to talk to us, because we will be very frank. Anybody who knows me in film knows exactly how straight talking we are, aren't we? And we will tell you honestly, because what you need at a time like this is the best advice, because the best advice could literally mean tens of thousands of difference to you right now, tens of thousands of pounds that is, right now in this market. So make sure you're capitalising on every decision that you make and making the right ones as well. And yeah, we went to see somebody the other day that was thinking about taking their conservatory down and rebuilding it, which would have been about £50,000, and we went, no. Tell the buyer it probably needs replacing in the next few years. The surveyor was going to pick it up anyway, but don't do it. So it saved her all that money. Thank goodness she asked us out.
Yeah.
That's it. Hopefully we'll hear from you and we'll be able to give you some frank advice on your home and whether it's ready for photography and viewings. Thanks for watching, and thank you, Laura.
Thank you.